Hi guys, today I want to go through the 5 steps of being an experiment, treating yourself like a moving object, something that's growing, something that is creating itself. This is derived from your 12-step program. I just thought I'd kind of bring not a scientific method, but like the culture of the scientific method, where you experiment, you examine the results, you coordinate or whatever with other scientists, and you have a field of expertise, and you're constantly at the edge of what you know and you're trying to grow. Okay, I need a better definition of scientific method. But regardless, these are the 5 steps. So number 1 is to humble yourself. And this, like any scientist will come out and will be, and by the way, if you don't like scientists, that's fine. You don't have to. Any explorer, any person that is an experiment, that is treating the world like a plaything, any of them has to humble themselves first. What do they actually bring to the table? Because ego and thinking that you're great and over-promising and pretending like if you were a car and you pretended you had like a second engine and you're just like, yeah, no, I'm really powerful, but you just got the one. It's just like you're not helping anyone. You're going to lose the race. You're going to be in the wrong race. Like whatever it is, just stop it, okay? So just humble yourself. Are you disciplined? Are you quick to temper? Are you judgmental? Common one today with our cancel culture stuff or whatever. Like whatever it is, just humble yourself. Like, do you bring excitement or do you bring detailed kind of really fine tuning sort of stuff? Like, are you going to sell it or are you going to make it? Are you going to serve it and present it? Are you whatever it is? What are you actually good at and what are you bad at? 2 things. Do not forget what you're bad at. Don't just look at the good. And don't just look at the bad, obviously. Okay. Double-edged sword there. Either way. Excuse me. Step number 2 is to pick a destination. So pick a direction, basically. Because it's not a destination. This is a lifelong pursuit. Being an experiment, being a scientist, being like whatever you want to call it. We're not scientists, but we're treating ourselves like a scientific experiment. But either way, picking a direction. And you do this, I think, by finding role models, by finding icons, people that came before you that were in this space. Do not dismiss all of humanity and pretend that they were all stupid and that you will find the one true source of truth. They will have had some influence, and I'm not saying they're anywhere near it, but they could be in the vicinity, or they could give you just the inspiration or like whatever else, but you just consume the direction. Like whatever it is, you consume. You stand on top of the shoulders of giants. Or there's that phrase where it's you do not fill other people's cups from your cup, you fill it from what overflows into your saucer, meaning that you never take your cup out from under the tap. You're constantly learning, constantly consuming, constantly drawing in from inspirations and stuff like that, and you're just pooping out good stuff. Okay, anyway, immature joke, I know. So, but there is some truth in that, to be honest. As in, to make good art, you have to be a great artist. It's not good enough to just be a good artist where you can kind of copy it, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty good. No, to produce good art consistently, you need to be great, so that even your practice art is good. That's where you're aiming for. That's the ideal. This is the blueprint you're trying to make. Now, don't start whacking your head over the head with this. We're going to get into it now in a second, so pause, take a deep breath. I know that's a big ideal. I know that's a big ask. So calm, okay? Step number 3 is to break that big ideal into milestones. Because honestly, it's too big, it's too perfect, it's too judgmental. It's just like, oh man, I'm nothing compared to that. I'm not a great artist. I'm not a great speaker, or I'm not like, oh, no, like I'm not there yet. I have a lifetime to get there. Like I'm nowhere near there. And that's you humbling yourself. I get it. But you have to take action. So how to take action is you now break that ideal into small little bite-sized chunks, little milestones, okay? Now you do not get to control what these milestones are. This is not a map of how to get there. That's not what it is. These are milestones. They're general kind of vague terms of a certain amount of following or a certain amount of for me, it's a certain amount of connection per week. Am I increasing my ability to build connection? Am I getting better at making space for someone else in a conversation? Those sort of things for me. But again, we'll go back to your 3 kind of sources of job, which is selling. So break it down into small little milestones. How good are you at selling? Selling might not be your thing. Making something, how good at you are making it? Are you building the talent? If you're a guitarist, is your pinky finger as dexterous as your first and second finger? Stuff like that, the real nitty gritty details. Okay, so figure out those milestones and then allow yourself a sense of pride when you hit them. Or just allow yourself a sense of pride for having those milestones and working towards them. Just have a sense of pride for taking these steps, of laying it out in front of you, of actually aiming towards this ideal and not just holding it there and knowing it to be true. I know I should be good. I know I should be better. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh man, if we haven't all got stuck in that hole. So actually break it down into, because again, if you don't plan out the details, you'll just beat yourself over the head with the big ideal and it's paralyzing and it doesn't work. So you have to break it into small little steps. Yeah, I know I'm talking too fast. I know. Okay, so step number 4, for these little milestones, because we're in the doing phase now, for these little milestones, come up with multiple strategies for achieving them. Whether this is your exercise, your health, your just general fitness, like meditation, how much sleep you're getting, who you're talking to, who your friends are, what you're watching, like all of your inputs, everything that's coming into you. You can change all of those things to try and build yourself into something that can take on these milestones. And there's multiple strategies, and you need to humble yourself and understand where you fall short. As in, what do you actually need to make up for? It's like, are you super open and creative? And it's like, you have the ideas, man. Like, that's so cool. Okay, Grant, do you also have the discipline to put them in? Like, to actually execute that? Maybe not. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're really disciplined and you're good at just grinding through the work and you're really detail orientated, but you don't quite have the bigger picture. You don't have that big ideal yet. You haven't made it yet. So maybe kind of opening up and consuming more creative thoughts might be a strategy in that case. Either way, you're experimenting with multiple strategies. Step number 5 then is to stop obsessing over self-help and life optimization stuff. Because isn't that the last gift that the last lesson that every teacher gives their students, is the power, or you sacrifice the title of student and you are now a peer. You are now, like, you as a student realize that no one knows what they're actually doing, and it's like, oh shit, we're all just like fobbing this off and kind of guessing our way through it. It's like, yeah, we are. It's like, okay, well, pick up the burden and go, I suppose. I know that's weird, sorry, but either way, if you're meditating, and you can really kind of get lost in self-help, you can lose yourself so much in optimizing your life that you never actually lose it, or you never actually live it. Can't remember where that quote's from. I do like it. But say your thing is meditation and you're really focusing on it and you're just like, yeah, I have to meditate every day and I'm doing this or whatever. It's like, okay, grand, cool. There's a time for that. There's the space for the first 3 months, 6 months of meditation where you obsess over it. It's cool. It's good. I like that. I remember those times fondly. But at a certain point, you have to say, okay, what am I getting from the meditation? I know that's kind of egocentric. I get it. There's a contradiction there for sure. But is it helping me do the things I'm doing? Because maybe meditation might not be the right tool for me. Maybe I'd actually be better with just gratitude journals. Maybe I'd be better with exercise or moments of awe or one-on-one therapy or whatever else. Your CBT. There's different therapies, so there's obviously loads of different techniques for optimizing, but just don't obsess. Whichever one works for you, basically. You don't have to hit every mark in the checklist. You don't have to succeed on the self-help side. You don't have to be a self-help prodigy, sort of like, woohoo, I achieved it. I do the cold shower. I wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I eat really healthy. I'm vegan. I do CrossFit. Like, we could really build that stereotype. And it's not what you're aiming for. It's not. Like, just forget about the self-help stuff. Just you're living your life. Let go of trying to achieve that ideal. It's not an ideal. It's just offering you tools. That's it. The self-help is just offering you tools for you to optimize your life. So bring it into your life. Don't live someone else's life. Okay, I think I got that point towards the end of it there. So I'm going to leave it there. So 5 steps are: humble yourself. Pick a direction is number 2. So pick a direction is make that big ideal. Then you break it down into small little milestones. Then you come up with multiple strategies for tackling those milestones. And then you let go of trying to get all of those strategies, basically. To get the strategies of waking up early in the morning, of going for cold showers, of doing hardships and sacrificing to get the reward. All of this stuff comes with something. It comes with a bit of pressure or something like that to reach an ideal of self-help ideal. And you just have to let go of that. It's a weird thing that happens. It seems to be unavoidable. I don't think I can teach self-help without creating this self-help ideal that isn't your ideal, and just let that one go. That's number 5. Okay, so that's it for today. That is your 5 steps. I hope you got something from it. This was a bit more of a casual one. This was a bit more of it was definitely a rant. I apologize, but I'm really curious. This is one that I'm kind of actively working on, so I'm kind of curious what your feedback is on this, because I like that scientific mindset. I like that process, and I'm understanding that different people have different processes, and I'm just kind of like, okay, what do you think of this one? Can you bring the scientific method into real world self-help stuff? So scientific method, again, humble yourself, pick the direction, find out what people know on that front, and explore. 3rd step, break it down into small little things that you can prove or disprove so you can be sure-footed. 4th step would be multiple strategies to make sure each of those steps is actually a good step, that's truth. And then 5th is to let go of just other people's expectations and your own expectations, and just finding actual truth. Whatever you find comes before what you want to find. That's your scientific kind of equivalent on the other side. So let me know if you can see those two mapping onto each other, if you can actually implement this. So I'm going to leave it there. I will see you next Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed. Okay, bye guys.